good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Rondo. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, listen. Happy weekend to everybody. Hope today is a blessed day for you all. Once again, you guys can follow me on YouTube. Just click in Troy Ramel Royal, Chopping It Up with Ramel. You see my videos. Listen, I'm going to get right to it. Today can be a busy day in sports. Starting out with the NBA playoffs. You got baseball going on. You got some boxing going on tonight. And also, the NFL released their schedule. Somehow or another, I seem to see the Cowboys schedule all over the place. If that's correct, I want to talk about that too. But let's start off with the NBA. What a performance by Westbrook and Harden last night as these two MVP candidates went head-to-head for the third game. And it looks like OKC was on their heels going into this game, like they were on the verge of getting swept. I guess Westbrook said, no, that's not going to happen. The troops came out motivated, and they came out motivated early. I don't know if Westbrook heard the criticism about his shot selection and made an emphasis to get everybody involved in the game and get them involved early, or did the players hear the criticism in a sense of, well, Westbrook has to do what he has to do in order to win, because a bad shot from Westbrook is better than an open shot from somebody else on the team. So I don't know which way the legend fell on. Nevertheless, OKC came out motivated. They looked to capitalize on any opportunity that would present itself. I saw Westbrook making an emphasis to get the ball to people. And these players, more often than not, they hit on their shots opposed to maybe missing wide open shots. This game here was exciting from the start. As I said, OKC players came out strong. Taj Gibson, who has the old man game, he came out there very motivated. It looked like he couldn't miss. It looked like every shot was like shooting it in the ocean. He just couldn't miss. And you had some key shots by Robertson. This guy here could be a problem down the line for OKC. He's an excellent defender. He's the best defender that they have to put on Harden. But here's the thing. If they go to the Hacker Robertson in the final minutes of the fourth quarter, he may not be able to be on the court. This guy here missed 3 consecutive free throws, maybe more. I'm not sure. I couldn't count it. But this guy here has got to make a free throw. He really, if he needs to step back to three-point range and shoot it, then maybe do so. But this guy's got to hit a free throw because he's going to be on the court during a crucial time, and they're going to need him, and he's going to have to be able to hit a free throw. Otherwise, that could be a long afternoon or a long night if he has to come out the game because he can't hit free throw. But nevertheless, this game here, like I said, OKC came out motivated. Taj Gibson finished with 20 points. Robertson finished with 12. Oladipo had 12. Kantner off the bench had 10. He was very aggressive. Some plays he was just doing too much. But you know what? That's what you want to see from these players. You need these players to say, we're players too. We're NBA players. Go out there and play like it. And bottom line, I mean, listen, I don't fault nothing that Westbrook does. Because I said it before, in order for this team to be where it is right now, he had to have like an Iverson-type season. And you know what? He did and some. He really did and some. And he's doing it out west, where the West is supposed to be the better conference, top to bottom, than the Eastern Conference. And for him to lose his maybe the best player on the team and the third best player on the team, and not replace them with adequate replacements. What he's done is phenomenal. And going up against the head-to-head MVP candidate, which I think is the runner-up. I think James Harden is the runner-up. But to go up against him and to pull up back-to-back triple-doubles last night, 32 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists, whatever it was, just a phenomenal game. The score, 115-113. Believe it or not, man, this game was an exciting game to watch. Houston wouldn't go away. They got some talent over there. Harden has some players to work with. Is this a fun series? I actually look for OKC to tie it up when they play again in Oklahoma. I remember years ago, I had told a good friend of mine, Roderick, one year they were facing San Antonio, and OKC beat San Antonio, and he was like, nah, they're not going to beat them. And this is when OKC was a little younger. I told him, I said, listen, when you go to OKC and you got that college crowd back there, it was like, crowds? What that got to do with it? Well, you know what? Crowd don't play on the court. But that crowd is maybe the second. At the time, it was the loudest. Now it's the second behind Oracle. Oracle is the crazy crowd. But that OKC crowd, it's a college crowd. It's the only thing in town. There's not a comedy store out there. There ain't a club out there. I'm sure there is, guys. But there's none that's on the map that someone will say, go check that out when you come to OKC. It don't have nothing else there but the Oklahoma Sooners, Oklahoma State football team, and OKC Thunder. I mean, that's the main attraction of the state. And these guys come out there and they come roaring and they're loud. And sometimes that may have effect on the opposing team. But at the same time, when you got that six man behind you like that, it motivates you, it energizes you. And OKC came out charged. They really did. They couldn't miss. Taj Gibson was possessed out there. I mean, I haven't seen Taj Gibson like this, maybe ever. He had like 18 of his 20 points in the first half. I mean, this guy was just relentless out there, and he would not be denied. Enes Kanter came out there. It looked like he tried to get 30 in 3 minutes. But, you know, the point is this. There was more effort, and you could see it. And you would have thought that it was a 3-0, and they were going back to Houston. Down 3-0, going back to Houston for Game 4. That's how they played. The backs was up against the wall. So, good win by OKC. Harden, he was spectacular. He had 40-plus points. Then, I think 9 assists. I mean, Jalen Rose called it. He said that OKC would win, James Harden would be spectacular, and he would have the better game. And that's just how it went. It really did. Good win for OKC. Boston. I don't know. Maybe they needed to get away. Maybe Isaiah Thomas needed to go visit family or whatever the case is. I'm not sure. It does help that Rondo, who was the third best player in this series going into Game 3, is going to be out indefinitely with a broken thumb. Maybe that was just a little bit of what the Celtics needed. Hey, good morning, Jonathan. I agree with you. The players are great this year. Jonathan he tunes in as much as possible. But maybe this is what the Celtics needed. Just a little time away, allow Isaiah to see the family. Everybody can kind of take a deep breath and kind of like, just relax a little bit. It is never going to be any closure, and at least not at this juncture. But they went into Chicago and just manhandled them from the start. They just manhandled them from the start. Of course, Chicago made a run. They cut it to 3 or maybe 4 for a halftime, and then Boston came back, got a run in the third quarter, and pretty much that was it. They used the balanced attack. I don't think anybody scored over 20, and I don't think anybody played over 30 minutes. They used the balanced attack to go 2-1. I didn't think that not having Rondo would have that much effect on Chicago, and it might have just been Boston's game from the beginning. You know, Boston's the number 1 seed. They're not going to get swept. They look like they was on the verge of getting swept. But you figure they make a game out of it, make a run out of it. This series is far from over. Like I told some Bulls fans on my job, I think the Bulls still win this series because they got 5 games to win 2. And I don't think that Boston can win 4 out of 5. But we'll see what happens. You take it one game at a time. You know, Boston is thinking that way. Chicago is looking at, let's get this one. And this way, when we come home for Game 6, we can wrap it up. But nevertheless, a good game by Boston. It was a team effort. Jimmy Butler just had a bad game. He couldn't shoot it in the ocean. It just awful. D-Wade, he couldn't be the vintage D-Wade. He tried to give some moments, but this team here, just not a good look. Boston had about 5 people in double figures, quite a few people with 8, 9. It was maximum effort from everybody. Good win for Boston. They avoid the sweep, but more important, now they put pressure on Chicago because if Chicago comes out flat for Game 4, then home court goes back to Boston, and now we have a best of 3. So pressure's on Chicago, especially with Rondo out. We're going to see what they're made of, see what Jimmy Butler can do, and D-Wade if he can turn back the clock. But nevertheless, kudos to Boston for getting into the win column. Clippers, Utah. Utah in Game 1 came out. The first 20 seconds, they lost possibly a defensive player of the year candidate and Gobert. You figure it'd be bleak, especially going up against DeAndre Jordan. You need somebody to kind of combat that, offset his skills and what he does, rather. And somehow or another, maybe it was an emotional lift, but Utah wins that game. Joe Johnson gives us a flashback of Allen Houston's game-winning shot against Miami in Game 7. As the time was running out, he throws up a floater down the lane, bounces around the rim. Pretty similar what happened in Game 1 with Joe Johnson, and it gave them an emotional lift on the road to steal home court. But in Game 3, see something similar to that. Sometime later on in the game, Blake Griffin goes out with an injury, does not return. At the time, he had 17 points, so he played a lot of minutes. But Chris Paul would not be denied. He took this team on his back as the second half, and he just controlled that fourth quarter. And he had a game high he had a team high 34 points, 9 assists. But he willed this team to victory as they had been trailing for most of the game, and then sometimes towards the latter half of the fourth quarter, they took the lead and never looked back. But what a game it was. Gordon Hayward, he had 40 for the Utah Jazz. He didn't disappoint. George Hill with 26, and Joe Johnson came off the bench with double figures. Need a little bit more effort going around. There's no Gobert. Derek Favors has got to make free throws. He's got to score some points in the paint. He's pretty much the only big man that you can play right now. But this Utah team, down 2-1 at home. Clippers now have taken back the home court. So they did what they wanted to do, just get one. And hopefully they get the next one. But at least with the one, they can make it a best of 3 when going back home. So a lot of games to play. Utah, they got to make up for the absence of Gobert. They got out-rebounded on the board, something like 42-27. DeAndre Jordan, he was a monster with 17 and 13 boards. They had 9 offensive rebounds. So they clearly missed Gobert around the rim, not just from a rebounding standpoint, but also from a shot-altering point, too. He's a shot rearranger. So a lot of basketball to be played, but so far, yeah, I agree with Jonathan. It's been great this year. The playoffs has been exciting, just fun to watch. And if you are an NBA fan, this is what you're looking for. Just some exciting basketball, guys laying it out on the line. We seen the heroics of LeBron James the other night as he single-handedly bounced back from a 26-point deficit against Indiana. So you're seeing that the back-to-back triple-doubles for Westbrook hasn't been done since Jason Kidd done it once upon a time. So a lot of exciting basketball, a good individual efforts, and Gordon Hayward last night, he had a playoff career high of 40 points. Heroics by Joe Johnson, Game 1. Just a lot. Rondo and D-Wade turned back the clocks in the first 2 games against Boston. And then you see Boston bounces back last night. So a lot going on. The Memphis-San Antonio series, you got Mike Conley Jr. He's probably the second best player in that series. He's playing lights out. Just good basketball. The Warriors, regardless if Durant is in there, they're still running up the score on Portland. Then you got the Wizards. they're just manhandling the backcourt of John Wall and Bradley Beal is just too much for Atlanta. So it's some good basketball. It really is. And it should only get better going the rest of the way. It should only get better. And I'm going to tell you something. Out in the East, I still think it's up for grabs. Oh, I failed to mention Milwaukee just manhandling Toronto. That's the team that I had going to the championship. They better turn it around quickly because this Milwaukee team is not afraid. They're not afraid. No, they're not afraid. So they're going to have to turn it around very quickly. Listen, I want to talk about boxing. Those who follow me, I watch boxing. Boxing is a great sport. I love the sport. And listen, you got 2 fights coming on tonight. I'm going to tell you, Shawn Porter and Andre Berto, they facing one another. These guys are both capable of winning this fight. They're both capable of being champion. But I'm going to tell you something. This could be the eliminator. Well, it's being called an eliminator, but this could be their career right here. A loss, if Berto loses, he'll never get another big fight. He'll just be a tune-up boxer. Somebody's got a big fight and they need a tune-up. Let me go fight Berto. Because that's what's going to happen. Berto can fight. He can box. He got noodles for legs, but he can box. He can hurt somebody, but he can get hurt. This is his career on the line. Shawn Porter, this guy here, he's missing something. He's missing something. He's got everything to be a champion. Sometimes he's just a little wild. And that wildness with a polished boxer, that hurts him. But with someone who's not as polished, it could be an advantage. It could be an advantage. But nevertheless, good boxer. He's won some good fights. He's been in some good fights. This one's going to be a great fight tonight to watch. Like I said, their careers is on the line for this one. This one here it should be labeled careers on the line because the loser of this fight is never going to get another big fight. I don't think so. I don't think so. They're going to drop in the rankings. I don't know if they're both top 10 right now. Shawn Porter should be. I don't know if Berto is. But this one here is a very important fight for both of their careers. In addition to that, you got Jernell Charlo going up against Charles Hatley as Charlo is defending his champion. Yeah, Charlo he's no slouch. This guy is a top-notch fighter for light middleweight. I think it's is it super middleweight? But he's in that middleweight range. But no, he's no bum. This is going to be a very good fight tonight. Listen, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'll probably record the fight, watch the games, but don't underestimate tonight's boxing. It's on Showtime. Should be fun to watch. It should be good, exciting boxing match. We'll chop it up tomorrow. Jonathan says Milwaukee's the team of the future. I agree with Jonathan. I think Giannis right now in 2 years will be considered a top 3 player in this league, if not definitely top 5. They are the team of the future. Malcolm Brogdon, if I had a son that was playing point guard, I have him watch this guy. And not just this year. What I like about this guy's a 5-year senior out of Virginia. And he comes to the NBA. Not only is he ready mentally, ready physically, as far as skill sets, but the body is ready. The maturation is ready. What a point guard to have for the future in Milwaukee. A facilitator that can get his own shot when he wants to. And he's a big guard. And who better to play for? Jason Kidd. Does it ring a bell? They look very similar. So I agree with that statement. Milwaukee is the team of the future. Don't know if it's now, but in 2 years, they will be knocking on the door for a championship, especially if Jabari Parker can stay healthy. That's the key. Chris Middleton is an unsung hero over there. When he got his money, I questioned why, but now I know why. The guy shoots lights out. It's plain and simple. The guy shoots lights out. Greg Monroe coming off the bench. You know what? He's paid handsomely. But I wouldn't be so quick to get rid of him. I think he's an asset coming off the bench. When they need a low post game, he's a smart guy. He rebounds. So, yeah, I wouldn't look to trade him that quickly. All right. Before I close, NFL released their schedule, and on various websites or people posting on Facebook, I saw the Dallas Cowboys schedule. I gotta tell you something. There cannot be a team out there that has a tougher schedule than these guys. I mean, really, they have a tough schedule. Well, the division teams, their division teams probably going to face similar schedules because they play the same divisions. But what a schedule they have. And we're going to find out this season if Dak and Elliott are the real deal. And will they experience sophomore jinx? Because listen, they got the AFC West. We know who's over there. Denver, Kansas City, Oakland, and San Diego. Listen, you can go there and easily come out of there 1-3. Easily. If you ain't on your game, you can be 1-3 over there. Sometimes some teams are hoping to be at best 2-2. And then you got NFC West, which you have Arizona, Seattle. I think that none of them is as good as Dallas, but depending on if it's on the road or not, could be tough games. And you got St. Louis that is going to start rising. They're going to start rising slowly but surely. San Francisco's an easy win. And then they got a game against the Falcons. So the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to find out if that is the real deal in his sophomore year. Did the Cowboys make the right decision by letting Romo go? We're going to find that out. I think they did. I think Dak's the real deal. But we're going to find out this year as his schedule just got a little bit tougher. Hey, that's going to do it for the show. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I'll be back 24. Y'all have a great Saturday. Peace and blessings.